You talked to us yesterday about just keeping your foot on the gas. I mean, what did you see from the guys in the second half? Just being in it, it was a 3-point game or a 2-point game.
We talked a lot this week about how overwhelming it was, when you're going through a slump. And you could just feel that at the end of the last game. But to come out with the win and all week, the way we practiced, you could just see, the last 4 minutes. We had 0 turnovers against the press. On the half court, we played really good, long possessions, got to the rim at the end, just really close it out. Just happy for our guys with that. But we talked so much like this. The theme was it wasn't relief. All right, we had one of our hardest practices intentionally Monday after of the bye week, and it was because put your foot on the gas, chase. There's always a path. There's always a path if you're believing. And your sight line, I said that line. Our sight line was just what was in front of us, and that was Georgia. And now we'll have a new sight line for next Wednesday.
Porter, your bench really sparked you in this game.
No doubt. That was it's the key. We've there's been so much pressure on our first 5, and for our bench to have 44 points, everything has changed for us getting Dayton back healthy. But now we got to watch him. Now I know down the stretch he was really had to come out, but giving another ball handler, another guy on offense that can do it, just is what we anticipated along. And he's had those ankles since the Arizona State game, so it gives us such flexibility. It gives us relief for X and Nigel. And as you saw in the second half, I moved Tay to the primary ball handler up top. I thought he had the matchups there. Thought Tay was a warrior. Kowal, the impact he has shooting the ball. You start to weigh offense, defense, but if he's making 6 out of 7, the scales tip. And he really gave us a boost. I thought Kirill came in, knocked down a shot right out of the gate, had a tip dunk at 7 points. Jadon hit a big shot. So those 4 off the bench, it just changes us if we have that kind of depth.
Porter, what did you see during that 18-0 run? I think Georgia was 0-9 during that stretch after shooting 70% the first 22 minutes.
I saw just confidence, confidence. We have played good first half defense and bad second half defense, and we said at halftime, they were just driving us. There were so many just to the rim. They had 28 rim points. We weren't guarding our yard. We talked about at halftime, let's flip the script. Let's have a better, our best second half defense, and then we got to plug. We can't let them just get to the paint as easily. I think they had 12 paint points in the second half, 35 total in the second half. Number 1 transition team, I think they had 2 transition points. We took away their transition defense. Really athletic team. I mean, I think they made their first 10 or 11 shots. 9? Yep. Yeah, the fire caught me by off guard. I was counting until then. But we just, I thought we guarded our yard, and then we were plugging better and not just letting him get to the paint and plugging it better. So second half defense was way better.
How much has Kowal improved as a practice player as this season has progressed?
Kowal always shooting. It's the positional in the SEC, defending and rebounding and all that. But he has stayed with it. It's a fine line. Do you get him reps on what we call our red team, or does he go on the scout team to get more reps and get confidence? So we've been balancing it. He's been getting a lot of reps just for his conditioning, because that's a big thing when you're not playing to stay in condition. But huge lift that Kowal gave us with the shot making, because that's the other thing is when I move Tay to the top, then you start putting Kowal and Nigel on the wings, it opens up too a little bit. So we made that, with Tay, and I thought Tay was a warrior. There was a point where I don't know how many minutes he played in a row, but he took the ball out of bounds flawlessly. He offensively, I just thought he really came and had a great second half. Tay Davis did.
How close is Kowal getting to? Is he improving in the other areas? Because he's such a good shooter. He can get closer in those other areas.
Yeah. Well, that's when he got that hot, we started, going like that. But if he's got to keep improving, because they're going to just go right at him and drive it, and he's got to use his length and balance. I love that he was ready I love that he stayed ready. You know, he didn't get in the Vanderbilt game. You know, Jeff got a concussion, so we talked to him like, you're gonna get your chance. And I love that he was ready, and he really gave us a boost.
Wonder you mentioned that fire in the first.
Yeah.
minutes there. You ever
No.
experienced that?
No. I'm just glad that the sprinkler system worked, just for the safety of everybody, but also that we were able to resume play. But I looked up and I'm like, this is just, add it to the list, in terms of stuff. No, I've never seen anything like it. It was a huge flame, from our vantage point, so.
I know the stoppage was only for a couple minutes there, but is it hard at all to kind of get everybody to?
Wasn't there a couple reviews too? So we had like a couple reviews, that stoppage, and so they were in the same boat. So it wasn't advantage, disadvantage, it was just craziness, so.
Porter, I think today's Josie's fine.
Yeah, I was
just reflecting on your time with him.
It was really cool seeing him there in his red coat, and I just said on the radio, he was the first person I saw when I saw the fire, and he was doing what Joe does. He was taking care of things. He was running behind the scores table, and I bet you he's in the same thing. Really, my last day, and there's an inferno at the LNC. No, he's a friend, and I just gave him a big hug.
Any more questions? Thank you, guys.
All right, guys.
Porter.
Thanks.